Hey Swapaholics, here's the fourth and final part for Digimon Digital Swapper. Anywho, it starts in 3, 2, 1.
The bright morning sun filtered through the trees as Kari sat quietly, her back against a tree, knees tucked to her chest. The air was fresh, but the weight of the last few days still pressed on her mind. Swapping bodies with Vemon had been an overwhelming experience. What had started as a confusing and uncomfortable situation had become a humbling journey, forcing her to see the world through his carefree yet loyal eyes. As the day moved forward, Kari found herself reflecting on what she learned. She'd always been quick to empathize with others, but being literally in Vemon's shoes had taught her more than she expected. His boundless optimism, simple way of seeing the world, and unflinching loyalty to Davis had at first seemed naive, almost childish. But now she could see how those qualities made Vemon special. He might not always be the sharpest, but he was honest about who he was, and that was something Kari had come to appreciate deeply. She glanced at Vemon, now back in his rightful form, goofing around with Davis, and couldn't help but smile. They were a mess, those two, but they were also unshakable. Kari had always been able to lean on TK, a responsible one, but in this strange experience, she had learned that it wasn't about being perfect or having all the answers, it was about being genuine. As noon approached, Kari felt a strange sense of calm settle over her. She wandered away from the others, trying to process the final pieces of her thoughts. She hadn't spoken to TK yet. After the swap, things had felt a little strained. TK had been awkward, avoiding her gaze like he was trying to suppress something. Kari knew she needed to confront him. Later that afternoon, the moment finally came. Kari found TK sitting by the campfire alone, gazing off into the distance. She approached quietly, her thoughts gathered but emotions still bubbling under the surface. She needed to say this.
TK.
She started, sitting down next to him.
We need to talk.
TK shifted uncomfortably. He had a feeling this was coming.
Yeah, I guess we do.
He replied, trying to keep his tone even. Kari took a deep breath.
You know, this whole swap thing wasn't just about learning to appreciate Vemon's perspective. It made me realize something about you. You're always trying so hard to be the perfect guy, the responsible one, the leader. But I think you hide a lot behind that. You hide your frustration, your anger. You don't have to pretend to be some Gary Stu all the time.
TK blinked, a little taken aback.
I'm not pretending,
He said defensively.
But that's the thing, TK.
Kari said softly but firmly.
You don't need to keep it together all the time. You have your own struggles, and it's okay to show them. It's okay to let people see that you're human too.
TK clenched his jaw, clearly holding back something.
I just didn't want to.
Didn't want to what? Show that you're not perfect.
Kari interrupted.
TK, no one expects you to be.
There was a long silence between them, and finally TK sighed, his shoulders slumping as the tension left him.
I guess I have been trying too hard. I didn't realize how much I was bottling up.
Kari smiled gently, patting him on the shoulder.
See, you don't have to do that. We all have our issues. I learned that from Vemon of all people. He's just him. He doesn't overthink it, and it makes him stronger in his own way.
They sat in silence for a while longer before Kari stood up, feeling like a weight had been lifted.
I'm glad we talked,
She said.
but I need to go do something.
As she walked away, she spotted Davis and Vemon a little further off, rough housing as usual. The moment she saw them, a small laugh escaped her lips. They were ridiculous, but they were honest. And at the end of the day, that was more than enough. Just as she was about to head back to the group, Davis bounded up to her, a goofy grin on his face.
Hey, Kari, are you okay? You've been kinda serious all day.
Kari raised an eyebrow and smirked.
Oh, I'm fine. Just thinking.
Davis tilted his head, a bit confused by her cryptic answer, but didn't push. He opened his mouth to say something else, but Kari cut him off with a knowing look.
Come on, Davis.
She said with exasperation creeping into her tone.
You might be a himbo, but at least you're honest about who you are, unlike Mr. Pretends to be a Gary Stu to hide anger issues over here.
Davis blinked, looking even more puzzled now.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Before Kari could explain, TK wandered over, a sheepish expression on his face. Davis pointed to him.
Hey, what did TK do?
Kari let out an exaggerated sigh, rubbing her temples.
I'll explain it later. Now, move it. We've got work to do.
She marched ahead, Davis following closely behind, still thoroughly confused, but trusting Kari as always. Vemon railed after them, happy to be back in his own skin. And TK stayed back for a moment, finally feeling like he could breathe a little easier. And with that, the group moved forward, less perfect, more understanding and stronger than ever.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.
Glad that's over. Now for some relaxing video games.
Are you playing a Pokemon game?
Yeah? What of it?
You traitor!
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, ever, ever.